smile, you're on Cricket.
Discounts vary per line. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
You have the choice. Whether it's going out to dinner or ordering takeout at a local restaurant or buying that new outfit from a local boutique, those choices help to put money back into your community. Town Square Media South Jersey proudly puts a spotlight on local businesses.
Smokers Haven. Visit SmokersHavenNJ.com for a full line of fine tobacco and accessories. Dr. Lyle M. Back. For everything from skincare to cosmetic surgery, go to ILoveLyleBack.com. Progressive Fence and Railing. Whether it's a durable fence or railing, a stylish deck, a beautiful awning, or a serene gazebo, visit ProgressiveFenceandRail.com. And Ambient Comfort Heating and Cooling Professionals. AmbientComfortNJ.com. Town Square Media South Jersey thanks you for supporting your local businesses like Smokers Haven in Northfield, Dr. Lyle M. Back in Cherry Hill, Progressive Fence and Railing in Egg Harbor Township, and Ambient Comfort Heating and Cooling in Vineland.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They've got him, it's a sack!
Sixers.
Oh, baby!
And Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig.
It's good!
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
And he scored!
Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. It's a Friday edition of the show. We are back. I had a little day off yesterday. Had to take care of some business outside of the 97.3 ESPN studios, but we're back here with Mike Gill earlier and now here on Game Night. As always, you guys can join the conversation. Phillies in action this weekend against the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'll get to you my biggest questions heading into the weekend series. Of course, we will get into a plethora of topics with Dave Weinberg. Usually here on a Wednesday, but Wednesday he was celebrating his wedding anniversary, so he agreed to join us on a Friday this week. We'll get his thoughts on a couple different topics here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN in about 20 minutes from now. But you guys can join the conversation, 609-403-0973, your DMs into 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. And I do want to give a hat tip. If you were somebody who texted in earlier today to Mike Gill about how much you enjoy us reading the texts and us not taking phone calls, salute to you. That whole part of the day was probably one of the highlights of my day. It was actually really funny. Some of the texts that came in. So shout out to you guys. That was really funny. But right now I want to hit on the Phillies because we learned today with the Phillies lineup that the Phillies are already kind of giving us a signal about how they're going to run this lineup moving forward. For those who didn't see, the Phillies lineup is brought to you by Clark's Moving and Storage in Rio Grande. Moving is a breeze with Clark's Moving and Storage. The Phillies lineup today, I got to tell you guys, to me, it's a very clear sign of what this team thinks of this squad moving forward. Because I don't think it's a coincidence that both Stott and Marsh are not in the lineup. For those who didn't see the lineup for tonight, Kyle Schwarber's leading off as a DH, Trey Turner at shortstop, followed by Bryce Harper, Alec Boehm, Nick Castellanos, Edmundo Sosa at second base, Whit Merrifield in left field, Christian Pache in center, and Rafael Marchand at catcher. So one of the questions I had coming in this series is, what are the Phillies going to do when they face two left-handed pitchers this weekend? Tonight, it's Jordan Montgomery. They also have Tyler Henry going for the Diamondbacks. Well, they have basically just told you that they don't want Brandon Marsh, Bryson Stott, or Garrett Stubbs in the lineup when a left-hander is on the mound. It's a clear sign that this organization looks at those left-handed players as non-essential against a left-handed pitcher. And historically, the Phillies have not brought Stott Marsh into a game later as defensive replacements. They have typically looked at the guys who are starting as more than capable and competent players. I think it's very, very obvious that moving forward, the Phillies look at Stott and Marsh as platoon guys. Not that I say that's a negative, but we know that Whit Merrifield has not had a good year. He's batting 190 on the year. The organization is telling you that they would rather put a hitter who is 190 in the lineup than put Marsh out there. And we already have had problems with Marsh this week playing center field. The mistake on Wednesday was a huge reason why they lost the game. 2 mistakes on Monday were covered up because of the win on Monday. So Marsh has shown you that he might not be able to play center field the way he used to for whatever reason. I don't know if it's psychological, maybe it's something else, but I don't think his injury that he sustained, the hamstring issue, is the reason why. But I do believe that there has to be a reason why. The guy made 2 incredible blunders on Monday and then a mistake on Wednesday. And now he's not in the lineup today and probably not tomorrow either because they have 2 left-handed pitchers going. And they're saying we'd rather have a 190 hitting Whit Merrifield go out there than Brandon Marsh. The Stott situation is interesting because no one ever looked at Bryson Stott as a guy that needed to be platoon. We have never looked at him as somebody who needed to get multiple days off because of pitching. But this organization seems to be getting very close to the 1993 model where you saw multiple guys on the 93 Phillies be in and out of the lineup. You know, you saw players like Mickey Morandini, like Jim Eisenreich. They did not play typically against left-handed pitching, and they had other guys coming in to play for them. You saw a lot of action for guys like Mariano Duncan, guys like Pete Incaviglia, Milt Thompson getting playing time. Even Ricky Jordan at first base would give John Kruk more than enough days off. So this Phillies team this year, they seem to be looking at Stott the way they looked at Morandini at second, and they are looking at now Brandon Marsh, where they looked at Jim Eisenreich all the way back then. Now, I don't know if that specifically means that they are going to make a big deal at the deadline to get a predominantly impactful right-handed bat, but I don't think it's any small thing that they are treating their left-handed hitters like they are in a part-time platoon role. So that's a big observation for the Phillies lineup tonight. Again, the game was on Apple TV Plus. So for basically 70% of Phillies fans, you are out of luck. Hopefully you find a local establishment that shows the game, or you can maybe, if you have an MLB TV subscription, you can watch the game in its entirety later tonight. But I digress. The other questions I had going this weekend was the Arizona Diamondbacks are 28-6 when they score 5 or more runs this year, which is significant because this is a team that comes into this game nowhere like the team that you lost to in the championship series last year. Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly have missed significant time with injuries. So you have a team that is below 500, 37-38. But they are also a team, as I just said, they have a winning percentage that is through the roof, 28-6, when they score 5 or more runs. So that means 28 of their 37 wins are when they score a lot of runs. The Diamondbacks are actually a high-level offense with a bad pitching staff this year. The Diamondbacks have scored the 5th most runs in Major League Baseball. Their on-base percentage is 3rd best in Major League Baseball. I'm sorry, their on-base percentage is 6th best in Major League Baseball. So they're scoring a lot of runs. They get on base. So the key to beating them is don't let them get the 5 runs, basically. You got to keep them at 4 and less. Because you can get to their pitching staff. You want to get to their bullpen because they have one of the worst bullpens in all of baseball. They have the 3rd worst batting average against any bullpen in all of baseball. Also, the team overall is the 5th worst whip and the 5th worst overall ERA in all of baseball. So you should be able to score runs this weekend. You should be able to put up 5, 6, 7, potentially 8 runs on the Diamondbacks in every game this weekend. But the key is going to be, can you slow down their offense? They don't have the pitching staff to go blow for blow with you this weekend. But what they do have is the hitting that can go blow for blow with you. Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte. This is a very talented offense, but they lose a lot of games because their pitching staff is just that poor. So don't overthink this weekend if you're the Phillies. There is an obvious way to beat this Diamondbacks team. Don't let them score runs. Keep them off base. Now, Taijuan Walker's pitching tonight. We know that Walker is susceptible to fly balls. But if Walker can keep the ball on the ground, potentially, this could be a close game tonight. And then tomorrow, Zach Wheeler's up there. Wheeler's going to want to redeem himself from the previous start. And on Sunday, you got Christopher Sanchez. Christopher Sanchez is having a very good year. So, prospectively, the Phillies could win 2 out of 3 this weekend. It's just a matter of, can they keep the Diamondbacks off the base paths? Can they keep them from scoring 5 or more runs? Because you go through the Diamondbacks schedule this year, that 28-6, it is obvious on their schedule because literally you go through their schedule. The last 5 losses they have all been games where they have not scored at least 4 runs. 3-1 loss, 9-2 loss, 8-3 loss, 13-1 loss, 10-3 loss. Before that, a 9-3 loss. This team lives and dies by their offense. You let their offense score against you, you will lose. So for Philadelphia tonight, they have to this weekend keep the Diamondbacks off the base paths if they want to get a little revenge this weekend. 609-403-0973. Your DMs into 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. Steve from Ventnor chimes in on the text board. Says, I'm totally fine with the Phillies playing Sosa and Merrifield. They need to get at bats anyway. Marsh and Stott don't hit lefties well, period. I think they should flip Witt in a trade to another team to potentially get a better player, though. Phillies also have a need for a veteran utility infielder. A couple things there. One, your point is interesting, Steve, because you're right. They definitely need somebody to replace Merrifield on this team. I was telling Mike Gill this earlier. I really hope they find a way to replace Whit Merrifield because to me, it's obvious this guy is just struggling too much. I don't know if it's an American League, National League thing. I don't know if it's he needs more at bats to get a better rhythm. I don't know what it is, but it's obvious that they don't need him on this team. And my working assumption is when Cody Clemens is healthy again, he can be your other utility player. So if you can just lean on Sosa and Clemens to be your utility players, then unload Merrifield to get somebody else who can play the outfield. I think that's the way I would go, at least. I know Steve from Ventnor has brought up Austin Hayes often for the Baltimore Orioles. I know that's a guy I had mentioned the other day, guys like Tommy Pham from the White Sox and Kevin Pillar from the Angels. There are guys out there to be had. So I definitely think that if you are the Phillies, you got to find a way to unload Merrifield. whether that's promising a team that you would pay for a chunk of the rest of his contract for the rest of the year, whether that is having to throw in maybe a prospect. Again, Steven Ventnor has brought up Simone Muzziotti and a couple other guys as potential pieces to be sent in a deal. Look, I think that the Merrifield experiment has met it's over, it's past due for them to get rid of him. So again, if I'm the Phillies, if I'm an organization that is looking at trying to be contending for a World Series, which I assume that is their mentality, you're not going to do with Whit Merrifield in the lineup. You're just not. He can get you through tonight, get you through a few games here and there till the deadline, but you got to replace him. I agree with Steven Ventnor 100%. All right. We'll get more of your text messages a little bit later this hour, 609-403-0973. Your DMs into 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. We'll talk with Dave Weinberg, who joins us on a Friday instead of a Wednesday here on 973 ESPN. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Friday night.
This weekend on ESPN Radio. Pete Alonso leads the New York Mets into Wrigley Field to go head-to-head with Cody Bellinger and the Chicago Cubs.
Bellinger reaches across and made an incredible catch.
The Mets at the Cubs. Coverage begins tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern.
Listen to Major League Baseball all season on 97.3 ESPN.
With GMF financing, qualified buyers excludes Corvette, excludes prior sales.
Don't buy a car anywhere until you hear this. Bennett Chevy must sell 200 vehicles immediately. So right now, brand new Chevys are on sale at the GM supplier employee price. That's right, you pay what we pay. Plus, you keep all the rebates, saving you as much as 10% off MSRP. You heard right, you get both GM supplier employee prices, plus you get all the rebates up to 10% off MSRP. And because Bennett must move 200 new and used vehicles, we'll give you a minimum $10,000 for any rotted out old clunker, even if it was on fire. Yes, a minimum 10 grand for any clunker towards any pre-owned vehicle in stock. Imagine how much you'll get for a good trade. These are real deals you won't get anywhere else but Bennett Chevy. So you must hurry for best selection. With deals like this, nobody beats a Bennett deal, and I mean nobody. Together, let's drive at Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The only downside to Taco Bell's Cravings value menu is having to decide. It's got 10 different favorites for $3 or less. How do I choose between the super beefy cheesy double beef burrito, the crunchy loaded beef nachos, the pillowy 3-cheese chicken flatbread, or the... I don't have time to list them all. I'll have to go to Taco Bell and try them. The Taco Bell Cravings value menu. 10 items, $3 or less. At participating U.S. stores while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies. Tax extra. Double seasoned beef compared to the Burrito Supreme.
This summer, click into easier yard cleanup with same-day delivery from the Home Depot. Click into clearing overgrown grass or weeds with effortless gas-like power. And click into the convenience of a battery platform compatible with over 250 tools with the Milwaukee M18 Fuel Trimmer, now for just $199. Click into power with 4th of July savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Order select and stock items by 4 p.m. subject to availability.
Powered by the all-new BetParks New Jersey Casino and Sportsbook app. BetParks.com. This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Cole Hamels to officially retire as a Philly. I'm Nick Earnshaw with your South Jersey Sports Center and with your 97.3 ESPN question of the day. With Cole Hamels officially retiring as a Philly tonight, what was your favorite memory from the 10 seasons he was with the Phillies? Let us know by texting in at 609-403-0973 or use the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. For me, it's got to be his final start as a Philly when he threw a no-hitter at Wrigley Field. Odubel Herrera's catch will always be remembered as a wild one, but to end his career throwing a no-hitter at a historic ballpark, That is the icing on the cake. Once again, text in at 609-403-0973. Your forecast is next.
Don't risk losing the trusted news, traffic, sports, and weather you get from AM radio stations. It's time to make your voice heard. We need Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act to keep AM radio in cars. When internet and cell services are out, AM could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. The weekend starts with heat and ends with a bang. We'll see a few clouds overhead tonight. It'll be warm and sticky. Low temperature only dips to 73. Tomorrow's high, 92. Cooler at the shore, partly sunny skies. There is a chance of a stray thunderstorm late day. Hot, humid, and breezy on Sunday. Even the beaches look hot with a high of 93, increasing clouds with late-day thunderstorms. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get $50 in gift cards good for use at JoJo's Italian Grill, Egg Harbor Township for just $25.
This great deal is on sale now at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
SeizeTheDeal.com. 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
We'll get back to text board in just a minute. 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. But right now, joining us, he joins us on Wednesdays, but he switched with us to a Friday because he was celebrating his wedding anniversary. So congratulations to Dave Weinberg. It's 42 years, right, Dave?
Yes, indeed, Josh. Seems like yesterday, but yeah, time flies. It was also my son's 39th birthday and my brother's 62nd birthday on Wednesday. So big day for the Weinberg clan there.
That's too much going on one day. That really is.
Yeah, it's kind of overwhelming. But my wife
your son should have picked a better day to be born. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, you know. My wife, instead of that's how we celebrate our anniversary, they're in labor at I guess it's Shore Memorial back then. I don't know what it's called now, but yeah, that was a memorable one for sure.
Yeah, these hospitals keep changing names. It's like can you imagine being the person who was born at Burdett Tomlin Hospital back in the day, and it's like now it's like 3 names later? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's always been Burdett for us, but yeah, it's what's the Cape Regional Medical Center now? I think something like that. Yeah.
Well, it was Cape Regional Medical Center, but now it's turning to I think it's like Cooper Cape Medical Center or whatever. It's on July 1st is the official merger of Cape Regional Medical Center and Cooper University Medical System. So
okay, I didn't know they were changing the name. That's interesting.
Yeah, I should remember this because I wrote the article last month, but I don't remember all the details. But the judge finally gave the final clearance for them to merge.
Okay.
On the deal. So basically, everything Cape Regional now will be in the Cooper system. Basically,
mm-hmm.
It's going to be which it kind of was anyway. I mean, if anybody's ever dealt with certain medical issues at Cape Regional, they refer you directly to Cooper anyway. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like, this is coming, you know what I mean? But
right, I gotcha.
Yeah, but it'll have a third different name change on starting July 1st. So
okay, all right.
That'll confuse people even more. So
yeah, still Burdett to me, but that's all right.
Yeah, well, it's like, not to get on a side tangent, but it's like, Lower Township, Middle Township, they're changing their EMS services in a couple months because In Spirit doesn't want to do the EMS anymore. So now it's going to be Atlantic Care. So it's like, you go. It just, all this change is just so bizarre to me.
It is, yeah. This stuff changes like every other week. It seems like anymore.
It's exhausting.
Don't get me started on the parking situation in Cape May too. Trying to figure out that stupid app. I'm just.
The app is universally disliked.
Yeah.
And I know towns like Ocean City are trying to look into maybe getting a different app, but it's like what people don't. And again, I know getting to a side tangent.
That's okay.
Weinberg here on It's a Friday. Somebody's probably listening to us nodding their head anyway, but the problem people don't understand, and this is the argument that I've had, Dave, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. Towns like Stone Harbor, towns like Cape May, and all these other towns that changed to the Park mobile app. The problem isn't the Park mobile app. The problem is that you're making people use an app to pay for the parking in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few meters along the beachfront still in Cape May where you can put quarters in.
Right.
But by and large, it's all. I mean, I have no trouble with the app. I've been using it for a couple of years now, and it's just remembering like which license plate goes that I'm driving with. So I gotta remember to punch it in. Sometimes I get that wrong and mess it up. But I feel bad for like the people who just aren't. I mean, I'm no technological whiz, but I kind of know my way around a little bit. But the older people, they have no clue of how to do it, and I feel bad for them.
Well, yeah, there's two people. There's the people who they're just not proficient enough in technology, and now you're forcing them to learn and understand something that's not easy for them to adapt to. But then for someone like me, I'm tech proficient, and I think the Park mobile app stinks because I remember being in Cape May one time, and I'm trying to put in the right information, right? Because it's supposed to use GPS and it's supposed to target you, and it can. You confirm you're in this spot, confirm your license plate. By the time you confirm everything, the price of what you're paying for has changed because you've been standing there for so long. You feel like an idiot. You're just standing there on the sidewalk punching in all this information. And, it's like yesterday, Dave, I'm pulling out of the gas station last night and a guy got mad at me because I took too long to pull out of the spot. You know what I mean? For the pump. So the guy literally beeps at me and curses at me. And like, I'll admit it. After that, I slow rolled out of there on purpose, but
yeah, seriously, what the heck?
But it's like, it's the same thing when you're paying for the Park mobile app. People pull up to you like, is that guy parking or is he leaving? You take so long to input the information. Nobody knows if you're the person staying or going anymore. And you feel like an idiot because, it's like, I'm supposed to be young enough to know how to use technology, and this app is so cumbersome. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Is it the same app for every town? Do you know?
Every Cape May County town is using the app right now because they all wanted uniformity. But Ocean City, I know, is looking into other apps because they've gotten so many complaints about the app.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Yeah, Ocean City is your classic. Let's try to be different because we're Ocean City kind of town.
They've always been that way. Yep.
They've always been that way. And of course, that's a whole conversation for another day. It's probably a better conversation to have over a drink about some of that stuff. But Dave, I wanted to ask you about the Phillies because you had, not just because you have the Philly shirt on, but because I mentioned before you came on, it's starting to look like they are treating Brandon Marsh and Bryson Stott like they're members of the 93 Phillies. Like they're literally just telling these guys, you're not playing against lefties anymore. Like they are completely bypassing them. They're saying we would rather have a 190 hitter in Whit Merrifield than put Brandon Marsh in the lineup against a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, that makes no sense. I mean, I know there's probably statistics to back up their decision. Those guys may not hit well against lefties by and large, but I think if you're a major league player, you're good enough that you can hit right or left. I mean, that doesn't really matter that much, I don't think. I mean, Rob Thompson's been pushing all the right buttons so far, so it's really hard to argue with him. But I think those guys are everyday players, and if you're an everyday player, you should be out there regardless.
Marsh is so frustrating to me because, like, I know he's an important locker room guy. I think that he's a good ball player, but it's like he makes two horrible mistakes in Monday's win, which the win covered up those mistakes in center field. He had the horrible play on Wednesday in center field. It's like the guy is literally relegating himself to just being a left fielder at this point. Like it's a bizarre thing. Remember, Dave, they brought him in here purposely because he could play defense, and now all of a sudden it's like he's got the Chuck Knobloch yips or something.
yeah, he's been struggling in center, that's for sure. And then they send Rojas down, right? So he's in AAA.
Yeah, Rojas is at Lehigh Valley. They send him down, which is looking not like a smart move because Dave Dahl has been hitting so poor in the last few games. It's like they should have just let him go instead of keeping him around. They should have just kept Rojas.
Yeah. I mean, hindsight being what it is, you're probably right. But I don't know. I'm not like a huge Rojas guy. I think he's kind of overhyped a little bit, because of his speed, I guess. Um, but yeah, and Dahl's struggling now. He wasn't before though. He seemed like he was a pretty hot hitter. So I guess they were just trying to go with the hot hand at the time. I don't know what they're going to do now.
It's very strange because I think the real answer, Dave, is going to be they're going to need to eventually get another hitter for this team. You know what I mean? And I know to some people it's an unpopular opinion, but I think that if you're a Phillies fan, you're playing the Diamondbacks this weekend, right? Well,
Right.
why did you lose in the NLCS last year? Because your offense went cold, right? So you don't want to be in that position again. So why not get one more bat who can play the outfield?
Right, but where's he going to play? I mean, I don't.
Get a center fielder.
He's going to be. Is he going to be your everyday guy, or just like you're going to,
Sure.
mix and
I
match?
mean,
I guess. Okay.
Yeah, you got guys like Tommy Pham and Kevin Pillar out there. Austin Hayes with the Orioles. He's like their fifth outfielder now. Like, there's guys to be had. It's just are the Phillies going to pull the trigger or not?
Okay. Yeah. All right. If I'll go with it. But those guys are like fifth outfielders for a reason, though, right? I mean,
Sure, but at this point, you're basically aside from Castellanos' bloated contract, it's basically a team of fourth and fifth outfielders, isn't it?
True. Yeah. Yes, one more wouldn't hurt.
Especially if they can play defense. Like we know Kevin Pillar can play defense. Let him play center field.
Yeah, I got you there. Yep.
I mean, he's certainly a better hitter than Christian Pache.
True. Okay. All right. You're turning me around on this. Okay.
now the real question is, Dave, how do you convince a team to take Whit Merrifield off your hands? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, I don't see anybody doing that, honestly. I mean, he's really struggling. He seemed like he was a pretty good all around kind of utility guy at first, but now I don't know what you're going to do there yet.
I mean, he's having the worst year of his career in every statistical category. It's like, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah. Oh, your name's Whit. That's your first strike against Jacobs.
That's the first problem. He came to the wrong city. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there you go.
Dave Weitberg joining me here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Extra point columns over at 97.3ESPN.com. Dave, I want to flip the script over to boxing because you broke the news on Monday, which was later confirmed that Bruce Seldon Jr., who won in a decisive knockout in his debut, he will be fighting next month at the Boxing Insider Promotions event, July 26th in Atlantic City. So you had that information first. So just give the folks an idea of, what is a realistic expectation for Bruce Seldon Jr. this early on in his career?
Yeah, I mean, there's really I know Jim Kurtz very well as manager, and he's going to take it's kind of it's kind of a difficult way to do it. I mean, because Bruce is 29, but he never had any amateur background, so you have to be both. You have to put him on a fast track, but you got to be smart with who you match him with. It's kind of like learning on the job with him. So realistically, it's just important for him to like see guys who have different styles, different strategies. Let him get his feet wet against maybe a left-hander or a defensive-oriented guy or a boxer, that kind of thing. Just to expose them to different approaches in the ring instead of just going out there and winging throwing punches. Be able to think your way around the ring, cut the ring off, that kind of stuff. So be interesting to see how he progresses. He's got a lot of ability, Josh. I mean, a lot of ability, but he's raw. So yeah, you kind of have to and experience. So you have to take those factors into account when you put him in there.
You mentioned the experience. He's turning pro at a later age than guys usually do.
Right.
So, for you, how long do you stay patient with him? Because there's that fine line between you don't want to throw him in there to get, demolished and have his, confidence broken. But on the flip side, you don't have a ton of years to wait for him to reach that point, because at some point he's going to turn 33, 34, 35, 36. And how fighters get older, the skills diminish.
Yeah. Heavyweights are a little bit of a different animal. I mean, if you look at Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Joshua, those kind of guys, they're all in their 30s. So it's a little bit of a different animal. You don't have to be quite as nervous about pushing them in there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you can't wait forever. I mean, I know that Jim's. I assume his plan is to just maybe fight him like once a month for like 4 or 5 months, and then back off a little bit, let him get his breath, and then put him back out there. I think he'll be relatively busy, and then but after you get like 7, 8, 9 fights, then you got to start thinking about pushing up the level of competition and seeing what you have there.
Obviously, as I mentioned, Boxing Insider Promotions next month. We had Justin Figueroa on early this week. Him and Larry Goldberg announced the card next month. Back to Tropicana, Atlantic City. So, but Dave Weinberg had the report first. So gotta give credit where credit's due. I know some people.
Not the big deal, but okay.
Oh, I mean, well, it's a big deal to me because of the fact that people don't like to give people credit in this business. So
yeah, true, yep.
Couple more before I let you go, Dave. Phillies on Apple TV Plus tonight. They're on Roku on Sunday. So
when did that come about? Roku.
That was very recently. That was because the deal with Peacock baseball got opted out of it, and they switched over to Roku, which frankly is actually easier to jump on watch it on Roku than it is on Peacock, but it's still like another thing people have to like get their hands on.
I don't get it. I don't understand the strategy. I mean, there are so many Phillies fans out there that are there, and they're used to Comcast. They're used to Channel 847. That's what they do, and to have to like jump all around the different streaming services and this and that to try and find your favorite team. It just seems like they're shooting themselves in the foot just to make a buck. I mean, I don't. There's like, again, not to sound old, but there's a lot of people there that don't have Peacock or Netflix or Roku or whatever the heck you have, and to have to like, you can just see them just chasing around the dial trying to find out what the heck they have to do, and it's a shame for the long-term hardcore Phillies fans that they can't watch their team every night.
What I don't understand is why are there not a bunch of local establishments that just like turn this into an opportunity to draw people into their business? Like to me, if I am any South Jersey, not just Cape May County, but Atlantic County, Cumberland County, Gloucester County, like you should turn this into, we know you don't have Apple TV Plus and Roku. Come to our place of business to watch.
Yeah.
Like that should be like the number one promotional point. Like I feel like there's a lot of businesses who are missing a great opportunity here.
Yeah, you're right there. I never even thought about it that way. But yeah, you come in, have a sandwich and a beer, and watch the Phillies. That's a great idea. You should buy a bar and
yeah. The rules don't say that the bars and other establishments, breweries, whatever, that they can't put it on in their place. The rule is you just have to have the service.
Really? Oh, okay.
It doesn't say that you can't do it, because businesses do this all the time for other sporting events. Like I know some businesses do this when it comes to all those soccer games on the random networks. They have watch party events basically where they say, we know you don't want to pay for Peacock or whatever service, or come in and watch it here. Or like they do it, they do it with NFL Sunday Ticket every year. It's like these businesses, they pay for the specific rate for the Sunday Ticket, and then you come in and watch the games. They promote that. Like, why does it have to be any different?
Is pay-per-view different? I'm just
pay-per-view is different. Yeah. So there is now, I don't want to say the wrong thing. So forgive me if anybody knows the rule better than me, but I know that there's a specific reporting rule when it comes to pay-per-view, like what you pay for. There's a specific rate you pay for that is supposed to be equivalent to your capacity, or like how many people showed up at your establishment, kind of thing.
Okay. The only reason I know I'm asking is I remember more than a few years ago, I want to say I was in Dallas getting ready to cover an Eagles-Cowboys game, and there was a huge boxing event the night before, and I went to this place down the street to watch it. I don't remember the name of the place, but sports bar, and they had UFC on, and I'm saying, can you switch over to the, I don't know, whatever the huge fight was at the time, and they're like, no, we're not permitted to do that, contractually bound to just show the UFC fight instead of this, and I didn't understand it.
So one of their, I know with the UFC deal, the way it works is like, an establishment can like lock in a deal for a year at like a
Okay.
discount rate, or they can pay per event.
Uh,
So, but it's dependent on whatever they're like. Apparently, like if you are 500 versus 1,000 capacity, like they're different pay-per-view pay rates, and you can pay per pay-per-view or for the entire year. And once you lock into that entire year, if you're a business, you don't want to switch off of the fights because you've already paid for it. You know what I mean?
Can I tell you a quick story about this?
Yeah.
When I was my buddy and I, who he used to work for the Trentonian, Trenton Times. Mark Eckel was his name. He lives in Myrtle Beach now, but
yeah.
he was covering the Eagles for the time, and I was covering the Eagles for the press. So we're in Phoenix, and there was a huge heavyweight fight. I don't know if it was a Tyson fight or a Holyfield fight or something. And we both were, huge boxing fans, so we wanted to watch it. The only place that was showing it was a gentleman's club.
Oh my goodness.
So we're like, okay, well, all right. So, well, I'll take one for the team, and I'll take a couple of dollars with me. And they had this like buffet. They had this whole spread. I mean, it was huge, and people were packed in there. I mean, the thing ended like in a 4th round knockout. That referee didn't get to 10, and the lights come off, and the bouncers are back out, and it was just like another happened. It was such a weird experience, but a lot of fun too, kind of.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a very interesting experience, considering like you're not there for that. You're there to watch the fight, and it's like, man, why does it have to be the only place that's showing this?
Yeah.
Of course, also, back then, it's also, I mean, you write about boxing for years now, so it's also like part of your job. So it's like you're trying to figure out.
Right. It was on the job training. Yes, sir.
Oh, is that what we're calling on the job training?
Yeah, I had to do it. Yeah.
I do know that DAZN is the one who carries a lot of the fights now.
Right,
I know
the only ones now.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, I know their pay-per-view package is similar to the UFC's, where like you can do it per event or for like a year, like a rate. So
Oh, interesting. Okay.
yeah.
All right, I got you.
I don't know what the deal is if for the other outlets though, because I know there's a couple of different other outlets on like like I know ESPN Plus has done some of the pay-per-views, so I don't know what their deal is, but I know DAZN. I was told by an establishment owner that apparently the DAZN deal is similar to the UFC agreement. So
I got you. The Tyson Fury thing, that's on Netflix though, right? Supposedly.
The Tyson
Mike Tyson and
Jake Paul.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Netflix. So but that's like paying for a streaming service. Like as long as you have the streaming service, you can watch it.
Okay, I got you. Well, I do have Netflix, so
yeah.
That's
So I
good.
mean,
All right. I don't know.
yeah,
I had no desire to watch it, but I'll probably watch it out of curiosity now. It got pushed back right to like November or something.
Yeah, it'll be scheduled for November, correct?
Okay. All
Although apparently Jake Paul is going to fight Mike Perry next month anyway. So
who the heck is Mike Perry?
Mike Perry's a former UFC fighter who basically ran his way out of the UFC because he's. If I get in trouble for saying this, someone pay my fine. Okay, he's white trash, basically.
Jake Paul's not.
Oh, no, see, here's my thing. I know that Jake Paul, for guys like you, is kind of viewed like an abomination of boxing kind of thing.
Correct.
But like, for me, I view him as a businessman. I don't view him as a boxer. I think that he's done an amazing job at creating this character.
Give him credit. Give him credit for that. Yeah.
I mean, he has a whole business where he owns the Celsius drinks, and he's parlayed, the energy drink business and the YouTube thing into this becoming a multi-millionaire. And so, like, I don't view him as a boxer. I view him as a business guy who is. I give him credit for finding a way to market himself into this thing that he is now. To me, he's not a boxer. He's somewhere between a professional wrestler and like a almost like a circus act. Like he travels around and like performs. You know what I mean?
Right. I got you. Well, then stop trying to pass yourself off as a legitimate fighter. Then
I hear you. I mean, yeah. So Mike Perry, he's supposed to be fighting next month. Mike Perry was kicked out of the UFC basically, because he's a problem child basically. And
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. All right. Okay. Okay.
Mike Perry, who I called white trash. That's why I call Mike Perry. He has been fighting in the bare knuckles fighting league lately.
Okay. All right.
And he's had a couple wins because he's a legitimate fighter. Like he is a legitimately trained fighter.
Oh, is he? Okay.
You know, like he has. I mean, at this point, I think Mike Perry's like 35 years old. I mean, the dude has like over 20 years of boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai training.
Oh, okay. All
but
right.
like he's just a nut. Like, I mean, the dude and his wife are just like the things that they do, they're always getting in trouble with something. He's a perfect character to go against Jake Paul. Like, Paul's supposed to be the villain, but now you bring in a guy who's another villain. It's like professional wrestling storyline,
Okay, that'll be interesting then. All right. Maybe there'll be a double knockout or something then, yeah.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Although I always tell people, no, don't bet on these things. Like these things always have some sort of side, something, like.
So what happens if Mike Perry beats Jake Paul? I mean,
we just lost Dave Weinberg. He just his screen just blacked out on me. We're just talking about this. We just lost Dave Weinberg. The answer to Dave's question, if Jake Paul was to lose to Mike Perry, that he's still fighting Tyson because they're contractually obligated, number one. And number two, Jake Paul lost to, I got to remember who it was. I got to look it up. I think it was Tyson Fury's brother, but it was a split decision. But yeah, Paul has lost to people before. So we got Dave Weinberg back.
Yeah,
Dave, you were asking. So Jake Paul is still contractually signed on for Mike Tyson. That's
well, who's going to watch that if he loses to Mike Perry?
Well, I mean, he's lost before. He has lost a fight
to Tommy Fury or somebody.
Yeah, Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury's brother. So I mean,
right.
You can lose and still create this image. I'm the crazy dude who wants to fight Mike Tyson. I mean,
right.
I mean, I don't know if you saw the one press conference, but Tyson called him fat like 5 times in the press conference. It was hilarious.
Tyson looks great in his training stuff, but you got to remember he's 54 years old or something like that. I mean,
I think he's 58 actually.
Yeah, don't be like people think that this is the Tyson who fought Spinks and Holmes and those kind of guys.
Tyson turns 58 on June 30th.
Wow. Okay. Well, at the end of his career, he was done. I mean, he was washed up. So
yeah,
I'll be curious to see if he can regenerate some. I think like 50% of himself should be good enough to score a knockout over Jake Paul, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, but my side point was, before I let you go, Dave, is that I always tell people don't bet on these things because you go back to the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul fight where like there was obviously an agreement to let that fight go further than it should have.
Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. Yeah.
Because I think it was the 4th round. Floyd actually like knocked him out. And like you saw Floyd like holding him up in the 4th or 5th round, like so he could like catch himself. He like wrapped him up to make it look like they were just wrapped up, so he wouldn't hit the ground because they had apparently there was some agreement for the fight to not be ending a knockout basically. So
yeah, these kind of fights, these so-called exhibitions or whatever you want to call them, yeah, I would never bet on one of those.
I'm just warning people, keep your money.
Doing your job, yep.
Oh, speaking of money, Bryson DeChambeau won the U.S. Open. You didn't mention that. That was one of your guys.
$400 for me. Yep, that was
nice.
Awesome. Yeah. It was great performance by him. And I felt bad for Rory, but not too bad because he wasn't one of my guys. So
this is why I always tell people take the top 5, top 10 bets because. I had Rory top 5. That's still a winner, right?
Oh, yeah. Nice. Very good. Very good.
I had Rory top 5. I got to go check the stuff on my phone, but I mean, I know I had a couple other guys top 10 who finished top 10 too. But this is why I always say, if you take the top 5 and the top 10, you walk away with something usually.
Chances are, yep. You're right. Yep.
I mean, obviously nobody saw Scheffler completely falling apart.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible.
Although,
That was
did you,
shocking.
Dave? You're a guy who's a big golf guy. Like, did you see his explanation for why? So apparently, according to Scheffler, he says he usually never plays a tournament before a major, and he thinks that playing the tournament the week before hurt him, and that he was gassed by the end of the tournament.
All I remember is every time they showed him, he was never in the fairway. Never.
Right.
He was always in that waist area or whatever off the tee. I mean, every stinking hole. Maybe there is something to that. I don't know, but he was just never. You could always count on him being near the top, but he was never even close. I was surprised.
I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently he says he's never going to play a tournament before a major ever again.
Okay, well, stick with what works then. Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a legitimate reason or not, but apparently that's his reason.
Okay, all right.
So I guess if you ever see Scotty Scheffler play a tournament for a major ever again, it's a sign to not place a wager on him.
Yep.
But good for Bryce. I thought it was funny they were chanting USA.
That really ticked me off. I mean, come on, really? I mean, Rory's lived here longer than you have, for God's sake, in the United States.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I thought that was important.
I feel bad for Rory because now it's going to be more famous that he lost that tournament than Bryson winning it.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, you're right there. Yep.
I mean that was like Greg Norman-esque.
Yep. Oh yeah, it was complete choke. Yep.
I mean that was like Greg Norman modern day version kind of falling apart there.
Yep. Yeah, like a 2-stroke lead with 4 holes to play or something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Literally, if he just makes a few shots, he walks away with it basically.
Yep.
But hey, Bryson DeChambeau, he gets to go back to live, saying, "Look, I won a major."
Yeah, good for him. I mean, he kind of won me over a little bit just with his personality and the way he approached it. He seemed like, he was really into it, really feeding off the crowd and playing to them and stuff. That kind of, he wasn't as arrogant as he usually was, which kind of
as he usually is.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Dave Weinberg, Extra Point columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com, at Dave Weinberg 19 on Twitter X. Dave, I'm late for the break, but I think we squeezed a lot into this today's conversation.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it as always.
Enjoy the weekend. Stay hydrated. It's going to be hot. Okay.
All right. You too, Josh. Take care. Thanks.
Absolutely. Josh Hennig here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. I see texts from George in Summers Point as well as Chris in Millville. We'll hit on those coming up next on 97.3 ESPN.
Hi, this is Billy Schwein from The Locker Room. Join me and Josh Hennig on Saturday, June 22nd as we broadcast live from 10 a.m. to noon in Sea Isle City for Connor Barwin's Make the World Better pickleball tournament.
The Locker Room with Billy Schwein's live broadcast is being brought to you by Captain Chucky's Crab Cake Company of Sea Isle City, offering online ordering and in-person seafood market located at 4111 Landis Avenue. McCann Realtors of Sea Isle City, serving home buyers and vacationers with knowledge and experience since 1939. Bright Spot Cafe, located at the corner of Landis Avenue and 40th Street, open for breakfast and lunch with farm-to-table food 7 days a week all summer long. Come out and support Connor Barwin's Make the World Better Foundation at the Sea Isle City Pickleball Court on 42nd Place.
It's The Locker with Billy Schwein, Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to noon for Connor Barwin's Make the World Better pickleball tournament on 97.3 ESPN.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
This summer, click into easier yard cleanup with same-day delivery from the Home Depot. Click into clearing overgrown grass or weeds with effortless gas-like power. And click into the convenience of a battery platform compatible with over 250 tools with the Milwaukee M18 fuel trimmer, now for just $199. Click into power with 4th of July savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Order select and stock items by 4 p.m. subject to availability.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933. 800-473-9933. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Philly, Burger King has cooked up something special for you. The new Philly Royal Crispy Chicken Wrap, filled with melty cheese, flame-grilled peppers and onions, rolled up in a soft, warm tortilla. It's just $2.99 and only around for a limited time. So grab one, or maybe two, while you can. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area restaurants. Tax extra.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
All right, before we get out of here, I promise I get some of these texts. Chris in Millville chimes in on the text board at 609-403-0973. Says, Austin Hayes won't be traded because the Orioles are chasing a ring, although I do think he'd be perfect fit for the Phillies. Look, my opinion is that a lot of these teams, they're always looking for prospects. So, you know, if you're the Phillies and you could convince them to maybe take on a prospect that would make sense for them, you could maybe get him. I agree with you. I don't see them making the trade, though. I do agree about that. George Summers Point joins me and Dave Weinberg complaining about the app. Say I wholeheartedly agree with you guys about the parking app. A lot of these short towns, I just don't want to download another app that might be used 3 times over the course of the year. It has to cost these towns more to join the app than does emptying the meters. Long story another day, but I do agree with you, George Summers Point. I'm Josh Hennig. I'll be with Billy Schweim tomorrow on the Locker Room on 97.3 ESPN.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get $50 at JoJo's Italian Grill, Egg Harbor Township for just $25.
This great deal is on sale now at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
SeizeTheDeal.com.